Define the word rendering. I'm Anna Wilkinson with NARA, or the North American Renderers Association, and today we are at the beautiful Old Town Alexandria waterfront, and we're hitting the streets to talk to people about rendering and see what they think the word rendering means. Define the word rendering.
So a rendering is basically a computer-aided visuals for something.
I actually have no idea.
Rendering art, and making things.
I don't know.
Nothing, no wild guesses, nothing at all.
Nope, not at all.
When you use something a lot, it's kind of like rendering it useless.
Rendering. Okay, like, what are we rendering? It's a tough one, right?
I can say it's very tough and a lot of things.
Making space.
Like an artist rendering.
I do not have a definition. I do know it has something to do with oil and fat, and that's about all I got.
Well, when it comes to cooking, it means cooking out something, if that's what you're talking about.
That is what we're talking about. I'm going to get a little more specific, but 100 million points.
This might not be like an exact Google definition, but I follow this lady on TikTok, and she renders beef fat, and she uses that at home to make like soups, and I don't know. I've seen that. That's the only thing I can think of when I think of the word rendering.
To make something. Taking something and changing the form.
Do you guys eat meat at all?
Yes. Yes.
So do I. I love it.
What's that?
Grew up with it in Chicago.
There you go. Oh, great meat in Chicago. Ooh, great meat in Chicago. Okay, so good. So you guys understand that obviously there are certain cuts of meat that we like to eat, like the steaks and the pork chops, and there's certain parts of the animal we don't find palatable, like the organs, right? It's true. The organs, the fat. And that's a lot of the animal too. That's like up to 50% of an animal that we use for meat is that stuff that we don't want to eat. So what renderers do is we take that material and we process it. So we render it and we turn that into like protein for animal food and pet food. And we turn the fat into things like biofuel and renewable diesel. So since you worked in restaurants, you understand that like things like when you're cooking French fries, you get that French fry oil, that used cooking oil.
Yes.
Okay, so you're familiar with that. So
Yeah.
renderers, actually, we don't just take the fat and the parts of the animal that most people don't like to eat. We actually also render used cooking oil. So from like French fries.
Correct.
And we turn that into things like renewable fuel and biodiesel and things like that. Take a wild guess. How many years do you think it would take to fill all our landfills if rendering did not exist? Just wild guess.
20 years maybe?
About 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Roughly 4 years. By rendering, we're keeping that part of the animal out of the landfill, right? And we're lowering GHG emissions. So we're basically taking, the meat industry and we're making it more sustainable. So, and it's not just pet food and animal feed, and it's not just biofuels. In fact, fat alone, like the used cooking oil from the French fries and the fat from the animals, is used in things you'd never imagine, like tires, fireworks, like siding, obviously, like she said she would have never guessed that. So we are educating today. That is good. That's our goal. I promised it was about sustainability and I was right?
You know what? Let's take all the pieces that aren't doing something and then make them do something.
That's exactly it. So we're recycling the material, we're keeping it out of landfills, and we're respecting the animal enough to eat the whole thing, right?
Waste not, want not.
Waste not, want not. I couldn't agree more. That's perfect. Well, you can feel very sustainable now, eating all that great meat in Chicago, that it's going to be used, the rest of it's going to be used and not going to landfill, so that's good. A huge thank you to everybody who took the time to talk to us today, and thank you out there for joining us as we talk about rendering and all of its sustainability benefits. Be sure to hit that like button and share this video so you can help us educate on the sustainability of the rendering process. Thanks again, and if you'd like to learn more, you can visit us at nara.org. Thanks, everybody.